All right, ladies and gentlemen, last manga reaction for today. We had an absolutely wonderful chapter of One Piece, and now it's time to move on to Sakamoto Days and see what ridiculousness awaits us. Let's begin, shall we? Yo, peoples! Qushu 92 here, and welcome back to more Sakamoto Days. In the last chapter, it would appear that Shin was able to make the members of the Order attack Uzuki, and because there was bloodlust behind their attack, this triggered Uzuki attacking them in his Takazuki state. But Gozu shows up, and with the whole place being saturated in water, essentially electrocutes everyone in the vicinity, including Uzuki, and all he does is just slap Uzuki on the back to reset his personality back to its base state. So the thought of Shin using Takazuki against members of the Order was extremely short-lived. So it then gets to the point where Uzuki is just tired of, old members of the Order, tired of Sakamoto's staff, tired of everyone rebelling against him, so it's time to wipe the slate clean. Now he's gonna, and Kumanomi's all like, let's go ahead and start with the brat over here. So when Uzuki is preparing to kill Shin, Sakamoto comes in and saves him, breaking the bladed whip chain that Uzuki has used ever since we first seen him, both in the present day and in the flashback. Sakamoto shows up. So now let's see what happens in chapter 2 days 218. Stopped acting cool. And we have Sakamoto standing there. Mind you, this is Sakamoto in his slim state. We haven't seen him in his fat state in a minute. But we have Sakamoto there in his slim state, staring at Uzuki. And we see Torres in the background. Mr. Sakamoto! And Shin is there along with Atari, because she's up now. And Sakamoto is just standing there. And then Saka goes, "You're pushing yourself too hard. I'll take it from here." And Shin notices that Sakamoto's hand is still slightly trembling just a little bit. And then Torres chimes in behind Uzuki going, "If we're in the way, we can scram." "Nah, we got nothing to talk about at this point. Kill him." And that's when the members of the Order are all preparing to attack Sakamoto and everyone. "I'll fight with you." And Sakamoto looks at Shin, who's still heavily tired having to deal with Uzuki and his assault, and thus the members of the Order as well. And then he grips his fist. And then clotheslines Shin and knocks him out of the aquarium. "Shin!" And while Atari's saying this, Sakamoto grabs Atari by her shirt and tosses her towards Shin. "Wait a minute! You're not going anywhere." And it shows Kumanomi and Gozu closing in. And then Sakamoto takes out a grenade, tosses it past Gozu, causing both Gozu and Kumanomi to, dodge underneath the blast. And then the fire alarm goes off, causing the safety doors and security doors to basically seal. Sakamoto just sealed himself inside of the aquarium with every member of the Order. Boop, boop, fire alert, fire alert. And then Gozu tries to jab at Sakamoto, and Sakamoto grabs him. Sakamoto grabs him by the arm, and then Gozu starts crackling with electricity going, "Move. Make me." And then Gozu proceeds to electrocute Sakamoto. But to his shock, Sakamoto isn't fazed at all. This guy. "Mr. Sakamoto, open up! Don't do this alone!" And then Sakamoto goes, "Shin." And he's speaking to Shin because Shin can read his thoughts. "Shin, take care of Aoi, Hana, and the gang." And then Torres pops up right behind Gozu, and he readies his sandblaster, and Sakamoto gets hit point blank by Torres, and Torres tears a hole straight through Sakamoto's shoulder. And it's smoking too. He literally blasted a small hole through his shoulder. And then Tanabata is right above Sakamoto and lands in the midst of them. Everyone jumps away as Tanabata sends a shockwave towards Sakamoto. And when that's happening, Kumanomi grabs as much metal as she can, turns them into spears, and throws them at Sakamoto, who's basically blocking all of them, but also catching them. And Sakamoto is staring everybody down. Kumanomi, Gozu, Torres, Tanabata, and then it shows Oki.
He's prepared to die to save us. He knows he can't fight. Stop acting cool.
And then Shin, with tears in his eyes, runs off with Atari going,
Shin? I won't let you die!
And then we get boiled. We get boiled as he coughs up some water. Hey, it's Pisuke.
Huh?
Finally woke up, huh?
Yo!
Wait, I remember being attacked in the Sky Tower.
We survived our falls thanks to the river. Heisuke! Kintaka!
And Shin catches up with them. So it's good to know that Heisuke, Boiled, Kindaka, all of them, everybody is okay. They just fell into the river next to the tower. What luck, right?
Heisuke! Kintaka! I'm so glad you're okay! Shin! It's been crazy!
And that's when Shin explains it to everybody.
Right. These guys have been...
Oh, wait. He doesn't. He looks at Heisuke, Kindaka, Old Man, and Boiled, and he sees how tired they and scuffed up they are.
Right. These guys have been fighting nonstop, too. They're all beat up and wrecked. I can't ask them to take this on. To pit them against those maniacs now would basically be sending them to their deaths. Now what? While I'm just standing here, Mr. Sakamoto I've got to get back there, even if I'm alone.
And Shin is starting to walk away from them while Heisei goes, "We're coming. Where's Taro?"
Huh?
That idiot Sakamoto's risking his hide as usual, right? Come on, let's go. Hard-boiled style.
How did you know?
Come on, Shin. It's written all over your face, yo. Shin, don't even think about pulling something stupid by yourself. You're an idiot too, you know that?
What?
Before you get any stupid ideas in your head, you should talk with us first.
Right. Sorry.
And then we cut to another section of the aquarium where we get to the parking garage and Sakamoto being launched outside. Like being thrown outside, but he still manages to get up. And then Kumanomi goes,
"Dude's like a rock. How's he even still alive?"
And Torres is noticing something's up.
Why aren't you fighting back, Sakamoto?
And then Uzuki goes,
Why did you come if you're not gonna fight? What, you want to talk with me? Or are you here to see Rion? When I talked with Akao's persona, at first I was happy because it seemed like she was back. But I was wrong. She would never let this happen.
Oh no, this is Sakamoto going,
When I talked with Akao's persona, at first I was happy because it seemed like she was back. But I was wrong. She would never let this happen. The Akao inside of you is a fantasy you created. No, she lives on inside of me. No, like I said, she'd never let this happen. If Akao were still alive, you'd be dead by now.
And this triggers Uzuki as he goes, "Shut up!" And that's the end of the chapter. Oh, Sakamoto is triggering him. Ooh, okay. All right. So during this whole thing, Sakamoto just comes in and he just basically throws Shin outside. Basically throws him outside and then sets off the alarm so he can seal himself inside with the rest of the order. We see that Sakamoto is not really bothered by being electrocuted because he's still holding on to Gozu. But This moment with Gozu allows Sakamoto to be blasted by Torres, and now Sakamoto has a hole going through his shoulder. So that's an injury he's incurred from a member of the Order currently right now. And then Tanabata comes in and blasts him with a shockwave, and Kumanomi comes in and shoots him with metal javelins, but even then, it's still not enough to stop him. And Shin finds Heisuke and the others, and he doesn't want to say anything to him because of how badly they were hurt over everything that just went down. But they can tell something's up with Shin because they're all like, come on, where's Taro? Don't even think about trying to do something stupid and risk your own life. We've all friends here. So when that happens, we cut back to Sakamoto. Mind you, this chapter kind of goes by fast. I know I went through it kind of relatively smoothly with the way I was reading it, but this chapter kind of goes by kind of fast. But Sakamoto gets launched outside. They're wondering, Kumanomi's wondering why Sakamoto is just so hardy. Like, you can't keep this man down. But also, Torres is wondering why he isn't fighting back. And then we get the talk, and not even the talk no jutsu, but Uzuki was all like, what? No, the time for talk is over. But here, Sakamoto talks just enough to trigger Uzuki. Because Sakamoto says the Akao inside of you is a fantasy you created. No, she lives on inside of me. No, like I said, she'd never let this happen. If Akao were alive, you'd be dead by now. And that triggers Uzuki because he doesn't fancy being talked down to like he's not strong. So overall, fairly good, fairly decent chapter. But and it says we're not going on break. So I'm kind of wondering where things are going to end up. I'm kind of wondering where things are going to end up with this conversation. Because if we're going to have like a whole conversation between Sakamoto and Uzuki, then he's already triggering Uzuki right now. That response of shut up with his eyes wide open and his eyes widening over, not even widening over, but his pupils seeming more white. It's already causing him to be emotionally and mentally agitated. So I can't wait to see how things go in the next chapter. Overall, I thought it was a good one. I'm ending it here because but it was a good chapter all the same. And all I can say to everyone is, hope you all enjoyed. Well, actually, you know what? No, I wonder if we're gonna have. I wonder how long this talk is going to be with And because here's the thing, Sakamoto sealed himself inside of the aquarium, and they threw him outside. So it's literally like he couldn't even stay sealed inside of the aquarium because they just threw him outside. But now with Heisuke and everyone else trying to make their way to Sakamoto, at least he'll eventually get some backup. So it should be interesting. But what is more important to me is Sakamoto riling up Uzuki. Because if a person gets riled up, they get reckless. So like I said, I'm looking forward to the next one. We're not going on break, so that's a good thing. But I'm done for the day. It's time for me to rest. I'm going to rest up because there's no One Piece episode to react to, so I'm going to rest up. Hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. And because I know you're coming back anyway. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples.